this lesson I prepared for last week, but you know, it's more appropriate for this week. And for some reason, and I think I'm just going to blame it on Chinese students. I'm just going to blame it. I have become fixated on the 12 days of Christmas for some reason. Usually I get obsessed about certain things in life, and I just kind of go overboard. But this year, it was the 12 days of Christmas. I could not get enough of the 12 days of Christmas. So what I did is I built a whole lesson on the 12 days of Christmas. And so we're going to learn about the 12 days of Christmas. And the thing I'd like to say is, this is the season for the celebration of the birth of Christ. Okay? It is the celebration of the birth of Christ. It is not a time to forget the Creator and His perfect Son. A lot of times we get so wrapped up in Christmas and what we're going to get for Christmas that we forget, why do we have this season? I know for me, every time I see a present, it's like I would go up and go, is that my present? You know? And then, if it was a real small one, you know, that wasn't mine. Mine always had to be the big one.
Oh, Leon did that too. She went looking under the Christmas tree for the biggest one and said, is that mine?
Yes. You can ask anybody in my family, when I was growing up, my present had to be the biggest. So I got used to the fact that when I looked at a Christmas tree, mine would be the biggest present. That doesn't mean when I opened the box it was big. Okay? They finally got the hint that they had to do it in a big box and then they could put the small one in the middle of it and I would be happy because I still got the biggest present. And to this day I still have to do that. Then, and I love this one, Fionn. Not that any of y'all would do this one. It is not a time to become more in debt.
Amen.
I know a lot of people around that Christmas time means they have the whole next year to pay off for Christmas. They do that. Some people do that. And while that is okay for some people to do that, as long as it doesn't interfere with your relationship with Christ, you're okay. But if you start worrying more about how am I going to pay for this, how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that, more than focusing upon Christ, that's when it becomes wrong. And that's what I mean. And I love this one because Christmas is a time to remember. And for us in America, we can remember lots of Christmases. For people in other parts of the world, they may not be able to remember putting up Christmas trees, singing Christmas carols, getting presents, or receiving presents. Some people just don't. I can tell you one thing. If you want someone to wrap your presents, Calvin's your man.
Yeah.
Calvin
Yes,
did an
he is.
excellent job wrapping presents. So much so that some people had to get scissors because they were wrapped so well. Calvin did such a good job. He wrapped all of my presents this year. It was kind of fun. And it's also a good time to connect with one another. I know Christmas is one of the best times for me because I get to spend time with my family. And when we all get together, there's close to 20 of us, all in the same house, talking about working out, going to the bathroom, taking a shower. Eating becomes such a monumental task when you've got that many people in the house. But I love Christmas, especially when these three little girls wake up in the morning because it's kind of fun. Some of them wake up faster, some of them we have to drag out of bed every day. And also, I think of Christmas as a time of renewing. And it's a good time to think, where have I been? Where am I going? Where am I now? What do I want to do differently? It's a time to renew. So what I did is I found the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, for that those of you that have never seen or heard this song, I have it for you. So let me go ahead and turn this on so you can hear the 12 Days of Christmas.
Day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
How many of you have never heard that before? Isn't that kind of fun? Wouldn't that be fun trying to do? I remember growing up singing that song, and instead of going 12, not 12 drummers drumming, whatever, we go da 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 da. It was all fast, faster and faster. Because what was the goal of singing that song?
To get it over with.
Get it over. Some people did get over it. But that origin did not start that way. In fact, the 12 Days of Christmas is a game that originated from London, England. And they would start it on the day of Christmas. So that's the first day of Christmas and went 12 days. And some people say it represents the two feast days in the Catholic feast calendar. And what would happen was, back in London, England in those days, what they would do is the game is played by one person stating the first day. So you would go, on the first day of Christmas, my true Lord gave to me, partridge in a pear tree. Then the second one would go 2, 1, 3. And the goal was, how many times did you have to go around the room doing the 12 days of Christmas before someone missed? So you might have to do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 12, 9, 6, 8. You have to do it 3 or 4 times before you messed up. So that's where this song came from. It was a game to see how long you could do the 12 days of Christmas before you messed up. And I thought that was kind of cool. So, but if you look at the 12 days of Christmas, there is a lot of things we can learn about God by looking at the 12 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the 12th day of Christmas and work all the way back to the first day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So let's look at day 12 on the drummer's drumming. Okay? Now in the Bible we have something very important that there were 12 of. Okay? If we look at it, it is from Exodus 28:21. And I will read that for you so that you can hear what the scripture says. Exodus 28:21. And let's see if you can figure out what the 12 are. Exodus 28:21.
It's going to be page 139.
And it says here, and the stones shall have the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, each one with its own name. They shall be according to the 12 tribes.
旧约的139，前面的139页。
Okay? So, there are 12 stones, and they represent 12 tribes. Does everybody understand about the 12 tribes of Israel? Everybody okay with that? Colin, are you fine with it? Yes, okay. So there were 12 tribes. So I have a picture to show you the 12 tribes of Israel. The next day is day what? 11. And we have 11 pipers piping. And we can find this one in Matthew 4:18.
It's in the New Testament, page Leo.
Matthew 4:18. Matthew 4:18. And it says,
新约的第6页，马太福音的第4章第18节，第6页后面的第6页。
okay. So what they're talking about is they were casting a net into the lake where they were fishermen. So when you look at 11 pipers piping, this goes to represent the faithful 11 disciples. There were 11 that were faithful. 12 tribes of Israel. See, we ought to do this as a game. 12 tribes of Israel, 11 faithful disciples.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't that neat? And when you put it all together, you go, wow, the Bible just does this really cool. 10 lords of leaping, we can find that in Exodus 21.
In the New Testament,
Old
page,
Testament.
Old Testament, page 125. ERU.
Very good.
You are good, Terry.
旧约的1、2、
She's much better.
Well, she's got a little more practice than you.
旧约的1、2、
So what does Exodus,
20章第1节。
go ahead and read chapter 20, verse 1.
神吩咐这一切的话说：“我是耶和华你的神，曾将你从埃及地为奴之家领出来。”
So it represents these words. And these words were called the what? So we have 10 lords of leaping, represents the 10 commandments.
这里说的是就是圣经里面说的十诫，基督里面说的十诫。
So day 12 is how, what?
The tribe.
The tribes of Israel. 11 is faithful disciples. 10 is You see how much you're learning about the Bible? Just by doing this song. Now, this is kind of interesting. The 9 ladies dancing. We find that in Galatians 5, 22 and 23. Galatians 5.
In the New Testament, page 335. 335.
335。
Ooh.
Galatians 5, 22 and 23. Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in Ephesians myself. Sorry, Galatians.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead and read that for us.
32 and 33。
Yes.
圣灵所结的果子，就是仁爱、喜乐、和平、忍耐、恩慈、良善、信实、温柔、节制，这样的事没有法律禁止。
So, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit. So guess how many fruits of the Spirit there are?
9.
9. I thought that was pretty cool. 12, what? Tribes of Israel. 11,
Faithful disciples,
10,
commandments,
9,
fruits of the
fruits
Spirit.
of the Spirit. Let's look at day 8. 8 maids of milking. Comes from Matthew 5, 1 and 2.
Page 7 in the New Testament.
新约的第7页，马太福音第5章1到2节。耶稣看见这许多的人，就上了山，既已坐下，门徒到他跟前来，他就开口教训他们说。
All right. So there are 8 what? A little tricky? Well, let's go. Teach them is the word that we put in there. So what was he teach them? The 8 Beatitudes,
这是
or the 8 blessings. How many of you knew that there were 8 of them? I thought that was pretty neat. So we have 12 what?
Tribes of Israel,
Tribes of Israel. 11
faithful disciples,
faithful disciples. 10
commandments,
commandments. 9 8
beatitudes.
8 Beatitudes. This one, I think everybody will get. Oh, sorry. There it is. Picture. Day 7 comes from Genesis 2 and 2.
Page 3, page Son in the New Testament.
Old.
Old Testament. I can't get my tongue to my English together.
I understand. I understand.
Theon is better at
是
English.
旧约的第一部
English.
创世纪，
Okay, let's look at Genesis 2 and 2.
旧约的第3页，整本圣经前面数过来第3页，到第7日，神造物的完已经完毕，就在第7日歇了他一切的工，安息了。
So it says, by the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all of his work. So 7 represents
Days.
the completion of the creation, or the day that God rested.
7.
礼拜一就是因为神创造了地球
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
So 12, what's
Tribes of
12?
Israel.
Tribes of Israel. 11,
Faithful disciples.
faithful disciples. 10,
Commandments.
9,
Fruit of the Spirit.
8,
Beatitudes.
Beatitudes. 7,
Days of wisdom.
the day the creation was finished, on the seventh day. 6, we can find that in Matthew 25:34.
New Testament, page 51.
Matthew
旧约的
25:34.
51页。
I thought this was just a cute little lesson. Matthew 25:34. So, come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. So, day 6 is
Creation.
the days of creation. There were 6 days of creation. Now, haven't we learned a lot about the Bible? We learned that there are 12 tribes of Israel, 11
Faithful disciples.
faithful disciples, 10
Commandments.
commandments, 9 fruits of the Spirit, 8
Beatitudes.
7
7th day of creation.
the day that God rested, day 6 the days of creation. You ready for 5?
Sure.
Okay. Exodus 21:1.
Page 126. E.R. Leo.
Very good.
旧约的126页，第21章的第1节，你在百姓面前所要立的典章是这样。
So it says here, these are the laws you are set before them. So what are there 5 of? Come on, you got it. 5 books of the
Torah.
Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Bible is called the Law. There are 5 books of the Law. That's what the nation of Israel goes by. So we have 12 what? I'm going to get you to know all these. 12 tribes of Israel. 11,
Faithful disciples.
10,
Commandments.
9,
Fruit of the Spirit.
8, 7.
Day of rest.
Day of rest, or day that God rested. Day 6,
Days of creation.
creation. 5,
Books of law.
books of the law. Isn't that cool? Totally
That Paul
awesome.
had to study.
Huh?
That Paul
That Paul had to study, for
Let's get
sure.
Paul here.
Here we go. 4 calling birds.
到第4篇，
Found in Mark 16 and 15.
New Testament, page 97.
新约的97页。他又对他们说：“你们往普天下去，传福音给万民听。”
So it said, he said to them, go into all the world and preach the
Gospel.
gospel to all creation. So what are there four of? The four gospels.
I like yours.
What did she say?
The four corners of the world.
Very good. I like that too. I like that too. Very good. Because that's what we're supposed to do. So we have 12 tribes of Israel, 11,
Faithful disciples.
10,
Commandments.
9,
Fruits of the Spirit.
8,
Beatitude.
7,
Day of rest.
day of rest, 6,
Days of creation.
5,
Books of the law.
4,
Gospel.
four quarters of the world. Sorry. I like it. Then we have the three French hands. 1 Corinthians 13 and 13.
Page 307.
新约的307
See, I'm going to
页。
teach you something today. Okay. 1 Corinthians 13, 13.
经常存的有信、有望、有爱，这3样，其中最大的是爱。
Okay? So it says, and now these three remain. What are the things that remain? Faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. What are these called? The three virtues. The three virtues. Faith, hope, and love. And there they are. Is that Japanese or Chinese? Yes, right picture. I was hoping I had the right picture. Because most times I get Japanese, I go, ugh. So, the three virtues. So we have 12 what? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Days of creation.
5,
Law.
4,
Gospels.
that's what corners of the world. 3 virtues. Guess what? There's 2. Psalm 119, 105. Psalm 119, 105.
In the Old Testament, page 1005.
119, 105.
“你的话是我脚前的灯，是我路上的光。”
Okay, I like that. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. There are 2 what? The 2 testaments. The 2 testaments, the Old Testament and the New Testament. I thought this was just a perfect plan. Because we have 12 what?
Tribes of Israel.
Tribes of Israel. 11, 10,
Commandments.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Gospels.
Gospels of 4 Law, 3 virtues, and 2